Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country, is a standalone DLC that you can buy physically, or it's part of the Season Pass for the main game of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I will openly admit that Torna, the Golden Country is the first Xenoblade game I've ever completed, because the Xenoblade games are humongi, and I'm gonna get to them. I'm playing through the second one right now. The first one I've got more sort of a gripe with, because it's a good game, but it's not as good as the second one in my opinion, so I'm going to do that one first. However, Torna, the Golden Country, if you want an entry point into the Xenoblade Chronicles games, I think you should start with this one. It took me around 15 to 20 hours to complete the game, and that's with just doing a lot of the side quests and then just getting on with the main game. But of course there's so much more to do, so you could elongate it out to 20 to maybe 25 hours, depending on what you want to do. The story follows Laura, Jin, Hayes, Adam, Mithra and Hugo and a few other characters as they try and take on Malos, a guy who is an Aegis, which is a weapon, who has gone insane and sees humans as need to be wiped out. The typical sort of, you know, evil dude thing. Now, of course, Laura and Adam and Hugo are drivers, so they are humans who are able to drive the blades, which are Jin and Hayes. For Laura, Adam has Mithra, who she's also an Aegis as well, and Hugo has his own blades too. And the blades are just weapons that are created from cores. It's better if you just play the game to fully understand what that all means, but just know that they're there and they are weapons, but also characters. They also have personalities and the such as well. Torna, the Golden Country takes place 500 years before the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so it is a prequel to that. And to be honest, I think the story was really good, and it had some really cool cutscenes, some like really cool anime-esque fighting cutscenes, as well as a lot of really cool character moments. So I was actually invested in the story, which was pretty cool. The open worlds, of course, you travel on the back of two titans among a sea of clouds, those titans being the Titan Torna and also Gormott. And Gormott is also a titan that you start on in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Of course, because it's 500 years later, in the main game of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it looks a little bit different, but for all intents and purposes, it's the same Titan. So you have those two maps, which are pretty big. They're big enough. They're not too, they're not too humongous, but they do look stunning on the Switch. They do look really, really cool. And the combat in this Torna, the Golden Country expansion has been expanded upon, if you will. It's a really cool combat system. It's akin to an MMO. So if you've ever played Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy Online, or you've played World of Warcraft or any kind of game like that, your characters will attack automatically, and then you can press corresponding buttons, being obviously X, A, B and Y, to pull off special moves. A is used for like special attacks, then you've got to press some buttons to create combos, and you can build up a meter for each attack and then just dish out damage, all of which can be upgraded. There are plenty of cool enemies to fight. There's crafting that you can do and bonus XP gained from using campsites, or you can also gain bonus XP from using inns, similar to Final Fantasy 15. The ingredients and the materials that you'll need to craft are scattered everywhere, and with this one, unlike with the second one, it'll actually tell you which is like wood or insects or fish or flowers, or just the things that you'll need, so you know what you're going to be collecting when you go out to get them. There are also plenty of side quests, and those side quests lead into the community system. Now, the community system is it's just once you've done a side quest for characters, they'll join your community, and your community will grow. And I didn't go too far into it because they did use it as a way to pad out the game a little bit, because at certain points in the game you have to do side quests to upgrade your community to be able to progress through the main story, which I thought was a bit sucky. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. Some of the side quests I actually found were really, really good. And there are some moments in this game, side quests and main quests, which do pull on those heartstrings. So I thought that was really cool. There's loads of different gear and weapons and affinity skills that you can gain just by performing certain actions or eating certain foods or fighting X monster. You'll be able to create new attacks, or not attacks, sorry, skills that you can use. Think Pokemon and Cut and Fly and the the HMs. So effectively you do that, and then you go into your blades menu, and then it will unlock, and you'll see a grid for all the skills they can unlock. And certain things, like you'll be able to use Jin to cut down trees or cut through things. You'll be able to excavate chests from places by using other characters. Yeah, there's loads of little bits that you can do, and that again, it all adds to it. I think that the more that you can put into games, the better in a lot of cases. Of course, your attacks can be upgraded, and your Vanguard arts can be upgraded. So again, there's always investment in fighting enemies. I did a little bit of grinding, but grinding wasn't necessary, I'd say. The game is pretty fair in that respect, whereas it takes you up through through the main story. It kind of levels you up anyway, but the whole bonus XP thing, just go around fighting a load of monsters, doing a load of side quests, and then sleep, and then go into a campsite and sleeping at a campsite, and you'll get loads of XP, and you can level up countless levels, which I found to be really helpful. There is, of course, fast travel, and you can save absolutely anywhere. Plus, there's auto saves, which is a godsend, because I do despise a lot of RPGs, JRPGs, and Western RPGs where you can only save in certain points. That shouldn't be a thing. It should be save anywhere this day and age. You know, I cannot tell you how much I hated the fact that on Tomb Raider 1, for example, way back in the 90s when I was playing it with a friend, because I started off with Tomb Raider 2, so you could save anywhere. My friend was like, oh no, you can only save at those blue crystals, which I thought sucked the donkey dick. But yeah, there's fast loading times as well, so the game loads pretty quickly, which is another godsend, because some games can take an age to load these days, unless you're playing on a Series S, X, or a PlayStation 5, or a PC with a decent SSD drive. The frame rates do drop a little bit when you're out in the open world and combat gets too chaotic. They do drop, but it's nothing that will tear you apart from the game. And like I said, the padding where you have to upgrade the community system, I found that to be just a little bit annoying, especially if you just want to get on and see the story. But apart from that, I don't really have any other gripes about the game. Like I said, the game looks great. Of course, it's not 4K 60 frames per second, yada yada yada, and it doesn't need to be, because the gameplay itself is solid. It's just, obviously, as I'm reviewing the game, I have to state that the frame rates do drop a little bit, but that's it. I've had no crashes, I've had no bugs, I've had no glitches. There's just the frame rates that drop occasionally when things get too crazy on the screen. But apart from that, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country, was a absolute blast to play through, and once you complete it, you unlock New Game Plus, and I liked it so much, I immediately then went back on and started continuing my save on Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I hope to complete that one as well, although that one is infinitely longer. Yeah, an amazing little game and a perfect DLC, in my opinion. So I'm going to give Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country, a 9 out of 10. But thank you very much for watching this review. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you ever played a Xenoblade game? Are you going to pick them up? I suggest if you're going to pick them up, you pick them up soon, because with the third one being released in September, they're about to get super expensive, and they're already expensive as it is. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Depending on the skills of their user. Increase their efficacy by using them in well-timed succession, or combine them to disable your foes. Specials will become available